या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
नमस्कार आप सभी का। हृदय के अंत्य स्थल से मैं हेमा फाउंडेशन के इस प्रोग्राम हेम मंथन में स्वागत करता हूं। टॉपिक आप सबको मालूम है, कनेक्टिंग चिल्ड्रंस विद कल्चर। बिफोर आई गो ऑन टू एक्सप्लेन द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ कल्चर, मैं आज के जो हमारे ऑनरेबल पैनलिस्ट्स हैं और आज के हमारे honorable members from HEMA Foundation, I would like to have a brief introduction of them. Then we will move on to this discussion. Format is very, very simple. Initially, the main speaker will be allowed having a window of time around 10 to 12 minutes, and then other panelists will have their time around 5 to 6 minutes. Depending upon the time, we will move further and we'll have a kind of panel discussion also. The only point is, क्या आज हम कुछ यहाँ से लेकर जा रहे हैं? That is very, very important. As HEMA Foundation in its objective is determined and decided to bring in the values to the society. Keeping that objective, I'll start introducing. Recently, I just had Bhaiji Mahendra Kabra. He's a guide, his mentor, his soul, and it's his vision that somehow the Indian values could really go forward into our society. We welcome and we always cherish his presence in any form. After that, we are having Madam Anita Maheshwari. Is there on the screen? She is trustee and creative director of HEMA Foundation. She is parenting expert and a child development expert. She presents healing from the real stories on him virtues. And for me, she is a budding poet and all the go person. Madam Anita Maheshwari.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और हेमा फाउंडेशन के इस हेम मंथन में आप सभी का स्वागत है। मंथन जैसा हम शब्द से ही जानते हैं कि जब समुद्र मंथन हुआ था तो अमृत निकला था। तो आई होप आज आप लोगों का जो वैचारिक मंथन होगा उससे कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे विचार जरूर निकलेंगे जो हमारे समाज को कुछ ना कुछ एक अनमोल उपहार देके जाएंगे। फिर से आप सभी का स्वागत और अभिनंदन।
Dr. Chinu आज है नहीं because of COVID. She is definitely keeping well. Dr. Chinu is, you all know, she is a renowned Indian psychologist, child development expert, and the parenting expert. She is a TED speaker and a lot of other adjectives I can use with her name. She's not there, and we hope soon she'll be with us. Dr. Vijayam Ravi, who is our Associate Director Academics, unfortunately, she's also keeping down with COVID, and she's associated as an academic associate director. She's also not available today. Then we have Rajivji Bhargava. He is our associate director of HEMA Foundation and presents a beautiful and wonderful concept, Opportunities Unlimited, which he without fail reminds every day 6 a.m. before 6 a.m. Shri Rajivji Bhargava.
Thank you very much.
We have Hetalji Desai. She is Associate Director of HEMA Foundation, and she works on the fun-filled activities part of HEMA Foundation. And nowadays, she's a backbone of us all keeping together. Madam Hetal Desai.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much. Now I'll come on the introduction of today's panelists. The keynote speaker today is Madam Rali Kesarwani. She is a transformational coach, facilitator with specialization in parenting, leadership, millennial communications, performance coaching. I mean, like I could love to use other words as well. She has conducted several leadership development and coaching workshops for BFSI, IT, and pharma sector. I'm like, I was really happy to read this line specially. She has a green belt in Six Sigma certificate quality tool. We look forward to have a great inputs and insights from you in today's session. To you, Madam Rali Kesarwani.
Thank you so much for the invite. And I actually am very blessed that I'm here and today specifically for the culture, connecting children with culture, and looking forward to listen to other panelists also. Thank you, HEMA Foundation, for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Dr. Nagpur, sorry to interrupt. She is not Rali, रोली. हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति में रोली का अपना एक महत्व है और आज यहाँ पर भी एज ए कीनोट स्पीकर रोली आपका बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है.
Okay, then we have Mr. Amol Mirjagaonkar.
Yes, thank you so much, Anita ji. ये रोली का जो महत्व है ना, वो पूजा में आप कुमकुम लगाते हैं उसका है.
हम वही लेते हैं. Okay, Mr. Amol Mirjagaonkar, he is founder director of Avanti EduTech. He has taken Indian traditional music as a subject to the schools through methodical curriculum and muscle memory approach. I mean, science, mythology, and pedagogy. Three things he's combined together. Fantastic. And from 2019, they have introduced this subject to more than 10,000 students in Mumbai region. HEMA Foundation is delighted to have you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm really, I would say, happy and feel privileged that I have been invited here. And congratulations for the great, phenomenal work that you all are doing. And I'm really happy to contribute in whatever small way I can. Looking forward.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We are delighted to have you here. We have Madam Angda Prabhu. She is principal of Orchids, the International School, Borivali. She is working in the field of education from last 16 years. HEMA Foundation is delighted to have you in this HEMA Manthan program, ma'am.
Name is Anagha Prabhu, sir. And I'm also privileged and blessed to be here in the company. When we talk about culture, it is the people with whom we interact with and be with, which grows us up. So I'm also looking forward to learn more with this opportunity, and obviously with my own way, whatever I can contribute, I will be happy to do that. Thank you. Namaste to all.
So much, ma'am. We are delighted to have you. We have Mrs. Kavita Hegde. She is a principal of 7 Square Academy, Mira Road. She has an administrative and teaching experience of more than 30 years. Madam Hegde, we are delighted to have you in the HEMA Manthan series.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then we have Madam Neha Tapadia. She is a psychologist and well-being coach. She has worked extensively in the fields of cognitive psychology. Wow, my area of subject. Cognitive psychology, child and adolescent psychology, and educational psychology. And today we'll be needing you more as because to follow certain things, we need this cognizance. HEMA Foundation, HEMA Manthan is delighted to have you on this platform, ma'am.
Namaste and thank you so much for the introduction, sir. And I feel really blessed to be present amidst such wonderful people and such. I'm more than talking and more than giving my point of view. I am waiting to, take away a lot of things from here and take it forward and imbibe in me whatever I can. Thank you so much.
This was a small introduction of everybody. Now I'll open the platform within small prelude. And if I could start with certain civilizations that humans have experienced from their journey of Australopithecus to Homo sapiens to the modern man 2021. The archaeological history tells us, very clearly tells us that Mayan civilization, Aztec civilization, Yazdi civilization, Zoroastrian civilization, those all civilizations are not existing today. And the reason is very simple, because they are not having their followers, because they are not having somebody to follow their culture. We are living in the era of globalization. We are living in an era of multiculturalism, which is known as cosmoculture. And lately, there has been a kind of rampant debate over it, that we are living in a kind of era where cultural supremacy is trying to take control over others. And it is evident from the history of India that from Cambodia to the Irans or that part, one day India has been there known as a Jambu Dvipa. Now we are constricted to a geographical entity which is known as India, and still there has been lots of debates into our society at the global platform and the national platform, that are we really existing in the way we should exist? This is the era where we have to prove that we are a culture of a tolerant community. You often see the children, sometimes they do not value those rich and traditional and cultural values. We know it. I mean, like, I can give you a small statistics here. Till date globally, total number of the books published is 13 crore. Total number of books the human civilization has produced 13 crore. Out of those 13 crore books, 4 crore books comes from India. 4 crore books come from India. And you can literally go to this web portal where they clearly are saying it. Today we are in a kind of social taboo that we try to follow the Western culture. Ladies and gentlemen, total number of books published by the Western culture is only 25,000. We are talking about people who before 400 years were not knowing whether the earth is spherical or it is flat. We were knowing it 5,000 years back. So we come from a culture that has its religious supremacy, intellectual supremacy. School of thoughts of India has been remarkably wonderful. We believe in Sarvadham Sambhav. We say Atithi Devo Bhava. We believe in Vasudha Kutumbakam. We believe in harmony. We have amalgamated any culture that has come to India. But do we take pride in stating it? Are the coming generations of ours having those values embedded in that they take pride in living that culture? That's somewhere we need to discuss. I open the platform that what we as an educator can do, that we can connect our children with that culture. That is our responsibility. As an HEMA Foundation, we've been striving. I can use the word toiling place to place to take these cultural values forward, to somehow input them into our education, society, system. Today, I'm delighted that I could open this platform, and I would invite Madam Roli Kesarwani to have her opinions that how we can take this cultural value forward and connect our children with our culture. Madam Roli Kesarwani.
Thank you, Nagpal sir. Namaste सभी को. बहुत सारी चीजें हम अपने कल्चर के बारे में कह सकते हैं, जैसा कि नागपाल सर बोल रहे थे. And I was so very happy, and I always take pride in saying that I'm Indian, and I'm so very connected with my being Indian. I'm going to share my story from my life, which I was working in London, my family living in US, Mexico. So I'm going to share very quick, examples from my own family. So we are 3 siblings. I'm the eldest one, my brother, and then my sister. And my parents have given same values, same culture, same traditional knowledge and education, everything same for all 3 of us. We all 3 know how to do cooking. Even my brother knows. In fact, he was the first one to start cooking for us. And we were privileged to have his, cooked food. We know how to do cleaning responsibility inside the house, outside the house. So we all 3 are the same, no discrimination for 3 of us. And my brother, he got married to a Spanish girl and has a 15-year-old daughter. And I can say today that she is aware of her mother's culture more than what our Indian culture is. And second, my sister, she has a 7-year-old son who's been raised outside India, but he loves puja, havan, mantras, and he likes to know about the mythological characters that we have in India. He participates in rituals, festivals, and no traditions. So this is a difference that I see in my own family, and I myself have worked outside different countries, and I've seen, everyone have their own culture, their own way of living, their own value system. But when it comes to India, as a parenting coach, when I work with parents, I get a lot of concerns coming from parents saying that, my child doesn't understand the routine that we follow. He or she is not interested in the traditions, and they're not interested in knowing what our customs are, values are, beliefs are. They're not interested to participate in the festivities and the preparation that we do. And we all used to do that. When I used to listen to them, I go back to my days and I see that, what, we will be part of this. And which is why we feel connected to our culture. And then, I was thinking, do they really understand what exactly, parents are trying to do? And why are they not really connected? What is bringing them they have to look to some other place, not our own culture? So first of all, I want to tell that, what, this word culture is a French word, has come from a Latin, original word comes from Latin, which is colere, which means cultivation, nurture. So what exactly is the meaning of culture? It's basically characteristics and knowledge of a specific group of people about language, religion, food, clothes, colors, social habits, ethnic background, music, and art. So and it varies from country to country, city to city, societies, families. In fact, every individual has their own way and interpretation in the meaning of culture. And this happens across the world. It happens in our country as well. So when I was thinking about this parents' concern, I realized that, nowadays we in India have accepted the nuclear family system, and we started living for nuclear family system because parents have their own career aspirations. Either the both are working or one of them are working, because of which they migrate to another city, metropolitan cities or cosmopolitan cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, and other cities also in India are becoming metropolitan cities nowadays. What's happening here in nuclear family? They are detached from their joint families. In the absence of their trained parents and relatives, they are raised by their parents within the time that they give. And in that time, the parents which are giving to their children, they're focusing that what is my child studying? Is he really good in maths? What is their scores in maths? What are they doing in science? How are they performing in their social or their hobby classes? How are they going for some extra classes or tuition classes? So their whole focus is all around their education. And when the child has their own time, they're focusing on cartoons which are like Doraemon. Some have this Powerpuff Girls. These are some, cartoons that I remember I've seen children watching, and I feel that, how are they getting attracted towards some other culture? Because they are the intake is different, which is why their outcome is also different. Now, let's talk about how the culture is classified. So culture can be classified in two ways. The one is internal and one is external. And we'll see how it's going to be connected, how they both are connected to each other. So when we talk about internal culture, it's basically our own identity. So when I say I'm Indian, and when I used to be working out, I used to say proudly that I'm Indian. So, and when I used to dress up, I used to have a lot of colors and vibrancy. And, one day my boss says, Rolling, I understand you come from India, and I understand that you all love so much color. But you know what? We are in London. Here we are not used to so many colors. And these colors are, very loud. I said, great, thank you so much for the feedback. But, these are the colors with which I identify. I may not wear the loud colors, but I will not stop wearing the colorful dresses. And this is how I identify as an Indian. And there are many other beliefs that, when you say Indian, so they are somebody who will work like 9 to 9, they will not take breaks, they are
Is the network breaking from Roli's side? There appears to be some network issue at her end. Am I audible? There appears to be some technical glitch at her end. I think she'll try to.
Roli is here.
Where, Anika ji? Okay.
Am I audible to people?
Yeah.
Okay. I was on talking, so engrossed with sharing my own story, and then I realized I'm out of the whole group, been thrown out by the incident, which is a new culture again, the pseudo culture, the virtual one. So I'm saying that, that I identify myself with so many things that is Indian about me, and I love to be called like that. But when we're talking about our culture being formed in the earlier years of our growing up, it is always a contribution of the family, the community, the parents, the grandparents, and they are somebody we mirror. Children always mirror the parents, the ecosystem they are in. They get influenced through them and they follow them. Whatever is good and they interpret good and they feel that it's comfortable for them, they kind of start following them. But I feel that, it's a very important role of parents and grandparents specifically. They're very essential part of our family, and they have a very important role to cultivate values in our children, which is an internal value, internal culture of a human being, which externally represents in the form of behavior, which I actually feel. And so let's see how can parents and grandparents and other people who are around us can help us or help children inculcate the values. So they give the understanding of and importance of family and the relationship around us. They nurture their daily routines, their traditions, their values and beliefs in the child. They create good habits with the children when they start doing things with them, like eating food together, reading books, helping the parents and siblings, help them, tell them that you should help your parents and your siblings, empower them to think beyond certain limitations, thoughts and decision making. They empower their children by doing all these things. And it's a very important part of our culture, because if I remember what Nagpal sir was saying, that our ancient culture was very rich, very empowered. Everyone had equal, men or a woman, child, girl or a boy had an equal status. And today we don't see that anymore. And it's all because of, the amalgamation of many different cultures coming to picture, replacing our original Gurukul system, replacing everything that we used to do earlier. And now this is the time that we should have that awareness, coming back to our society and going back to our roots. But how are we going to do this? This is like very big question. We know what to do, but how is the big question? So I read books. I've recently started reading books. In my house, there was no culture of reading books. Then I realized that, books gives you so many information. It's such a good source of information. And Nagpal sir has validated it that, India contributes 4 crores of books. And we hardly read. In our culture, that was a big, very big part of our childhood and even, knowledge collection. So storytelling is a very good way of telling about our culture, sharing the morals, the teachings that they give us, and how these storytelling can help us connect our current value system with our old value, what our cultural value system, how they can incorporate strength in us, how they can give us inner value and how it can bring us confidence is something which can be learned from stories. Stories can be in the form of this recitation. It can be movie, cartoon movies. I love cartoon movies, so I always go back to cartoon. So teachings. What Western people have started connecting, and they've started coming back to Eastern philosophies, Eastern learnings, and they want to incorporate in their life. And this is a very important way that we can make ourselves very strong, our value systems very strong. Visiting cultural community programs, like when I entered the group, I heard Anita ji talking to Neha, and then how they got connected was the Maheshwari meetings or the Samaj meeting that happened. So it's a very good place where we can know and contribute about our culture, and this is one of the ways we can encourage our children to know more. There are certain more things, like you tell them to do certain activities like gratitude, saying thank you to people, doing dan is something which is disappearing totally. People have started thinking wrong intentions behind it, so that's something can bring in some more values in ourselves, and which is part of every culture actually, but we've stopped doing it.
Thank you so much. And there were some wonderful points raised by you. Obviously, the culture can be mirrored by the parents, from the parents in the society, and so that's fantastic storytellings and that everything you told. And obviously, it'll all happen जब हम इसको करेंगे, when we will start coming to it.
Sure.
Knowledge तो हमारे पास बहुत है, हम बहुत कुछ जानते हैं, but there we lack. आज देखिए, अगर इंडियन कल्चर की बात हम करें, so happiness is a $3 trillion business globally. And the whole world has accepted the Indianism, that is yoga and meditation. You'll find the whole Western world is having the schools and this on. So only thing is how we can promote it, how we can take it. There were wonderful things from you, that it is responsibility of us all. Education system, you very rightly pointed out. That's very true कि हमारा educational system सिर्फ formal education system में textual information को हम लोग ज़्यादा incorporate कर रहे हैं.
Absolutely.
Whereas according to the entire research of education is basically for the three purposes. Number one is rhetorics, that you are able to ask right questions at right time. And second, it talks about navigation, that जीवन में कोई भी स्थिति आए आप उससे आगे निकल जाएं. And the third, it talks about character, very rightly. और एक ऐसी शिक्षा जो संस्कार नहीं दे सकती, जो कैरेक्टर नहीं दे सकती, वो कंप्लीट नहीं कही जा सकती. यही हमारी शिक्षा है, यही भारतीयता है, यही इंडियन कल्चर है, जो एजुकेशन को कंप्लीट करता है. But unfortunately, we are focused on mark sheets. We are not focused on the education in life. Very, very nice points. Now, thank you so much. I will invite Amol Ms. Gawkar sir. And can I just give a small caveat? We are having 5 to 7 minutes, sir. Your stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I would like to briefly say that a lot of points about culture itself have been covered. Just one more point I would like to add is that in the contemporary world, especially the parents who are today parents of younger children, need to have this message that there is a rapid change that has happened in past few decades, and we are a product of that change, where we see a lot of new things happening. But we are, because of having brought up the way we have been, and the culture has played an important role in all this development. So the parents need to be aware that if they want their children to carry on these legacies and make things better going forward, they need to be delving back into the culture, because that is what will make them capable. Otherwise, they will become directionless. So that message has to somehow go to parents of today, which I somehow see isn't coming across so much when everyone is, and I'm not blaming anyone here. We are a sort of a generation which has got into maybe a rat race, you may call it, and whatever. But somewhere we will start to have this message flow through, and schools are the best place to take it to parents, I believe. And we have been trying to do that. Now coming to the point, the other thing is, one thing rightly said, was that, culture can be transmitted through a lot of storytelling, and that works. So that's a verbal way of making it. But there are also non-verbal ways of communicating culture. So thousands of years of experiences made concisely into different kinds of art forms, which take this message very beautifully only if we are able to give this experience to our future generations. So in that, we have chosen music. Music is a very difficult area. Firstly, it's non-verbal. So to get people to connect to that, start experiencing it, was a very difficult task, sort of a challenge. So we did a little bit of research around music itself, and then we realized there's one contemporary word where people that word is used is called classical. And classical has again come from the Western, let's say, philosophy, where anything old is classical. But in our case, our music is not classical, although people call it that. Our music is Shastriya. Our music is scientific. For thousands of years, science was employed in our music, and that's what it is. And over years, it was, imagine hundreds or thousands of years ago when there were no mechanism available for entertainment, and music gave pure entertainment, the happiness, the very subject that you just mentioned, happiness being such a big industry. It's right there, available, known to us, but somehow not reaching the future generations. So that is when we stumbled upon this, and we said, okay, we're going to take this music to people. We're going to make it acceptable to the future generations to start consuming it. And we then created a curriculum that could be used in schools, because as you rightly pointed out, Nagpal sir, the school fraternity and parents especially are focused on books, are focused on grades and stuff like that. So we created that as a subject, Hindustani music, there are textbooks, and because it's a ear-brain coordination activity, so we are largely focused on eye-brain. Everywhere we go, everyone is trying to convert everything into visuals. But in the visuals, the audio is being lost. And feeling the audio, experiencing the audio, and the very basic thing of listening. Today's generation, if you ask me, one of the biggest shortcomings, and we elders, people of my generation are no exception, is that we are hardly listening. All of us are running ahead of ourselves in our minds and looking to speak or give things. But how blissful is it to be able to listen and listen correctly? So we have created this wonderful app. All of us listening here now, and I recommend to everyone, if you have, whether you have an Android phone or an iPhone, if you put in Swardhara Music Academy in your Play Store, you will see our app. And the app tries to bring in terms of easy volumes, introduction to and experience of our Hindustani music. It starts from basics of just listening to the swars, trying to sing along if one wants to sing along. It has two facets. So we have given an instrument creating a sound frequency, and we have given a human voice, and the ear has to start listening and identifying it. So the process is very simple. So people ask me, how do we learn music? It's so difficult. You need to be in front of a guru to learn. And I say, yes, there are two things when we say talk of music. Are you learning music to listen, or are you learning music to perform? If one is learning music to perform, then the guru is necessary, because then you have a feedback. But if you're learning music to listen, which is a must in our view for every single person in this world, then you just need to be able to listen. And we have combined all those things that are great to listen, get habituated. So muscle memory was the term that we have used. But simply put, muscle memory means habit. And 99% of our living lives, we are living based on habits. None of our curricular, or academics are helping us live our lives. All those habits, the small ones that our parents and our grandparents inculcated into us day in and day out as we were, growing up, those are the things that are helping us today. So we want to make, this culture thing, and our small contribution, I would say, as far as inculcating culture into our future generations goes, is bringing this music to them. And try and make sure that every child get this. I would every school gets this as a formal thing, because today's generation is about a virality generation. So if I have to single out someone, they won't do it. But if they see so many people are doing it, all of them will be glad to do that and stuff like that. So that is where we are getting.
Of-
I think I have more or less covered most of the points that I wanted to.
in fact, yes, the term you used, viral, is negative actually.
Yeah. It's negative
Okay.
at the moment, but
It's
no,
very-
but that's what world has become, unfortunately or fortunately.
Let me remind you one thing. देखिए म्यूजिक, इंडियन म्यूजिक, जैसा आपने कहा, शास्त्रीय संगीत, और मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है ये बात यहाँ सबको बताते हुए कि त्रेता युग में भी मालकोस वैसा था जो द्वापर युग में था, द्वापर युग में भी मालकोस वैसा था जो आज है। आज मालकोस को सुनिए, ऐसा लगता है जैसे आज पैदा हुआ। आप देखिए बीटल्स कहाँ गए, रॉक्स रॉक हो गए, जैज खत्म हो गया। So Indian music has prevailed. This itself shows that our superiority. और एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं आप लोगों को बताता हूँ, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात। हमारे जितने भी आरतियां हैं, मंत्र है, ये मैथमेटिक्स है। ये संस्कृत की एक भाषा है जिसे हम अनुष्ठुप कहते हैं। संस्कृत का एक फार्मूला होता है, त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिम पुष्टि वर्धनम उर्वा रुक्मी वंदनाम मृत्यु मूर्छिय मामृतात। 16 होगा। गीता का प्रत्येक श्लोक ले लीजिए आप। धर्म क्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र के समवेता युयोत्सव माम का पांडवा च किम कुर्वत नि संजय। 16 है। जितने भी फेमस है, आप देखिए मैथमेटिक्स है, एजुकेशन है, इतना बड़ा कल्चर है हमारा, इतना बड़ा कल्चर है, ये बताने की आवश्यकता है हम सबको। वी हैव टू टेक इट फॉरवर्ड। और आज हम ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म पर हैं जहां हम ये एक वैल्यू लेकर जाएंगे कि अब देखिए, आप रामायण का चौपाई ले लीजिए, सकल पदार्थ है जग माही, कर्म हीन नर पावत नाही, अनुष्ठुप का हिस्सा है। आप कहीं चले जाइए, म्यूजिक वहीं मिलेगा, और म्यूजिक की जड़ें वहीं मिलेंगी। आप हमसे जो विदेशियों का म्यूजिक है, उसमें एल्बिंटन कॉर्ड, आप जानते होंगे, एल्बिंटन कॉर्ड वो लोग बजाते हैं जो हमारे यहाँ पे नहीं मिलता, और हमारे यहाँ पे हमारे बुजुर्गों ने इसे बजाया नहीं, जिसे खमाज राग कहते हैं। और ये खमाज जब बताते हैं जब किसी को कोई दुर्घटना हो जाए, तो हम इतने बड़े कल्चर से आते हैं साहब। ये हिंदुस्तान है। थैंक यू सो मच अमोल मिर्जगांवकर सर। Now I would like to invite Madam Anagha Prabhu to have her opinions. Madam Prabhu, this is to you.
Yes. I would like to start with an analogy. Although the people who have spoken before have told so many things, and even Nagpalji is also enlightening us with the knowledge, but my small thoughts will definitely matter, I feel. So see, a 3-year-old child, when one ball is given, cricket ball is given in his hand, will throw in a specific way. Maybe when he'll grow up, and maybe if parents are going to put him in cricket coaching academy, which is now trend in these days, if he throws a ball, then it will be same ball, but the way will be different. And if a trained cricketer, maybe a national level or international level, he throws the same ball, what differs is, I feel, the sanskaran that has happened, or the sanskar that has happened, because of which the ball is being, maybe the swing is in the same way, or the ability to focus has changed, because 3-year child also wants to throw the ball. When he grows a little and he watches the other people throwing the way they are playing cricket, yes, he also tries to focus, but that is not enough. And this is one thing, why I have taken this example is one thing which is quite similar to what we are talking about today. It is not something when a teacher can hold the hands and then try to write A and B or C, or maybe whichever script we would like to make the child to write. This is something which is going to be observed and done. It is not something which can be taught. It is something which will come only when proper training through a right guru, the person who has been following it as a role model, the other person can have it. Similarly, timely appreciation, if it is not given, it may not be taken in a right spirit. A child will not be inclined to behave in a better way if he is not appreciated at right time. And of course, the motivation and spirit, if it is given, then that focus is possible. And what I feel is, again, the nature is teacher. When it comes to culture, obviously music, performing art, these are also equally important, but at the same time nature tells us so many things. So if we focus and try to learn, definitely we will build up a culture wherein harmony is there naturally. So this is my small thought on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much. In fact,
Yes.
it was very crisp and to the point. I must appreciate. ये बात सही है कि अगर रोल मॉडल्स हमारी सोसाइटी में कल्चर को फॉलो करने वाले नहीं होंगे तो कल्चर फॉरवर्ड नहीं जाएगा. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट है. टाइमली अप्रिशिएशन भी बहुत जरूरी होता है. मोटिवेशन इज ऑफ कोर्स रिक्वायर्ड. इट्स 100% करेक्ट. मैं आपको एक छोटी सी बात बताऊं. कल्चरल आइडेंटिटी एंड कल्चरल आइडियोलॉजीज होती हैं. आप देखिए, जब अलेक्जेंड्रा अपने वॉयेज पर निकला था तो उसने कहा था विनी, विडी एंड विंसी. I came, I saw, and I conquered. Look at the cultural ideology of those people. Britishers, when they ruled over the whole world, तब उनका ideology क्या था? Hard work, sacrifice, and rule. वो भी खत्म हो गया. अलेक्जेंड्रा भी खत्म हो गया. अब देखिए भारत का कल्चर क्या कहता है. भारतीय कल्चर कहता है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. We all are there. और आज अगर विश्व को सबसे ज्यादा सर्वाइव करने के लिए किसी कल्चर की जरूरत है तो वो इंडियन कल्चर है. आज एवरी डे द वर्ल्ड इज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग द आर्सेनल एंड वेपन्स ऑफ $3.2 billion. एक दिन, one day. And what Indian culture is saying, no, please demolish all. Harmony and peace we are talking about. Very rightly pointed out, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now we have Madam Kavita Hegde. Can I please invite Madam Kavita Hegde to enlighten us with her wisdom words?
Madam, if you could please turn on your video.
Madam Kavita, can we move on to next speaker if she's not? All right. By the time Madam Kavita Hegde, Akash, can you speak to her?
Yeah. Nagpal ji, tab tak aap Neha ko please.
Yes. That is better.
Yes.
I would prefer it could be establish a communication with her. That after Kavita ji, she. So Neha. So मैं invite करता हूँ मैडम नेहा तापरिया जी को कि वो बच्चों में किस तरह से Indian culture जाए, how to carry the Indian culture among the children. And I'm really seriously looking forward to it because we are coming from the same stream of the subject.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal. My thought process or my views are very similar to what Anaga ma'am has shared. I mean, nature and nurture plays an important role when we come to cultural, imbibing culture in our kids. They learn from observation. They learn what is followed in the house. See, if you look at Indian mythology, if you look at Indian culture, it is like an hierarchy that is followed to the next generation. Whatever has been practiced in the previous generation is being passed on. Like our food culture, for example, we know this is the traditional dish of this region, this is the traditional dish of this region, and then still on special occasions those dishes are prepared. Why? Because it has been passed on. And this is my idea. You have to create an environment in the house where children are learning from you. You just cannot dictate that follow this, follow that. It is nurturance. Yes, we have to do that on a streamline, but there has to be a proper balance of, if we are not following and we are just moral policing. I think culture is not a moral policing, something we have to follow like a moral value, but it has to be educated through various ways. And as Dr. Amol has shared, through music, and Indian music is so rich in culture, and that is the reason even we go back to Indian music again and again, and Guru Shishya Parampara that is followed in our Indian culture, anywhere, any culture that is, we are following Guru Shishya Parampara, where just like how family values are passed on, same way a disciple takes from his guru whatever is to be learned and whatever has to be taken forward. And if you see, our culture is so rich of Vedic tradition, of religious tradition, philosophical tradition like yoga and meditation, literary tradition with the mathematics, with books, and political tradition of a proper structured economy and democracy, social tradition that is being followed. So it's nothing, it's a way of life. And on top of it, I think the most important value that sits is respect. That is not only for elders, that is for each person existing, each living thing existing. We have to give respect. And that is what we need to teach our children, respect and resilience. We have to educate them, not teaching, but educate them. I'm sorry. That is what, because that thought process connects that way. They are just very young to understand everything, but it is how we are providing through our nature and our nurture that values the most, I think. And yeah, this is something I practice, and I try to give my daughter whatever I can through this culture by, making her read the books, whatever is available in Indian mythology or Indian Bhagavad. And also music is something I really connect with her, because I feel this is the way she'll be connected, and food practices. That is what I feel. So nature versus nurture is something I practice, and that is what I'm trying to give.
I especially like the last statement of yours that this is what I follow, and I try to take it forward with my children. And you mentioned your food. You mentioned about your food. देखिए एक टाइम था जब ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन इंडिया में स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ था, then these Westerners propagated one idea, और उनका आइडिया था we should use genetically modified food, fertilizers use करना चाहिए, हमें antibiotics लेना चाहिए, this is good for the health and that all. और आज हम कहाँ पर आ गए? सबसे ज्यादा फूड कौन सा है? ऑर्गेनिक फूड पे आ गए. And we are trying to move away from natural world. We are saying that was the Indian culture. यही तो था.
Food is very if the kind of food, because every region has its importance in India. अगर आप बिहार देख लो लिट्टी चोखा, अगर आप साउथ इंडिया देख लो तो इडली डोसा, अगर आप नॉर्थ इंडिया देख लो तो छोले भटूरे, मुंबई में वड़ा पाव. So it's like everything, and this is part of our culture. This is part of, children have to like these food items. I mean, yeah, and that is where they can say, okay, we belong to this Indian food culture.
देखिए हम तो बात ही ये कहते हैं कि सर्वम खल्विदम अस्ति. हम तो बात ही है हर व्यक्ति में, हर चीज के अंदर ईश्वर है. अब इससे बड़ा कौन सा फार्मूला हो सकता है बताइए? वो कहते हैं, हम कहते हैं हम ब्रह्मास्मि द्वितीयो नास्मि, हम कहते हैं अहम ब्रह्म त्वम ब्रह्म सर्वम खल्विदम. हम सबको ही ब्रह्म मानते हैं, तो हम तो उस कल्चर से आते हैं. That is such greatness of our culture. All right. Now, Madam Kavita Hegde, if you could establish a connection with her.
नागपाल जी, हम कविता दीदी को ले, उसके पहले मुझे नेहा की बात से एक बात ध्यान में आई. इंडियन माइथोलॉजी जो शब्द हम यूज कर रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है इस पे भी एक वैचारिक मंथन की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि माइथोलॉजी शब्द इटसेल्फ मिथ वर्ड से बना है, और मिथ का मतलब होता है कि मनगढ़ंत कहानियां या हमारे काल्पनिक विचार. तो मुझे लगता है कि ये पौराणिक हैं हमारे, और अभी तो सभी वैज्ञानिक जब रिसर्च के बाद में है इसको सच मान रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है जब हम यूज करें
ये चेंज कर देना चाहिए.
यस एग्जैक्टली. और वो चेंज कहाँ से होगा नेहा? जब हम खुद इसे चेंज करेंगे. सो सबसे पहले मुझे लगता है कि हम ही मंथन करके इस चीज को चेंज करें कि हम माइथोलॉजी शब्द का ही प्रयोग नहीं करें.
बिल्कुल.
मैं आपको बात बताऊं अनीता जी, आपने ऐसी बात कही है कि अगर मुझे 15-16 घंटे मिले तो 15-16 घंटे के अंदर मैं सिर्फ ये बता सकता हूं कि ये शब्द अनुचित है. जैसे हिस्ट्री और इतिहास दोनों में फर्क है, मैथोलॉजी में और पुराण में फर्क है. हमारे हर ग्रंथ का एक अर्थ है. वेदा मीन्स एक्सपीरियंस, उपनिषद मीन्स यू आर सिटिंग विद समबडी हैविंग एजुकेशन. तो हम तो साहब, मैं सही बता रहा हूँ, पहुंचा दे. बस आपसे अनुरोध है कि आप इसे पहुंचा दीजिए बच्चों तक. बस
बिल्कुल.
यस, इसके बारे में बिल्कुल चर्चा होनी चाहिए।
So मुझे लगता है आफ्टर कविता दीदी इस बात पे आज मंथन होना चाहिए कि माइथोलॉजी शब्द पे सिर्फ मंथन होना चाहिए।
क्या बात है, मैं कविता जी हेगड़े
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Sir, we have not been able to establish contact with Kavita ji. We are
Okay,
trying to
okay.
reach her.
Fine. In case,
Nakal sir,
Yeah.
can I interrupt here?
100%.
Yeah, so I spoke to Kavita ji. She is actually traveling, so she requested if she could get 2 minutes and she'll be joining us.
Fine, we have our time. If you can intimate me when she comes. Before that, almost all the speakers have spoken. Kavita ji will join us later. और बहुत अच्छा मंथन हो रहा है. Seriously, बहुत अच्छा मंथन हो रहा है. I would like to put one question. हम सब जानते हैं हमारा कल्चर अच्छा है. हम सब जानते हैं बहुत अच्छा है. अब मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हम इसे बच्चों तक सही मायने में लेके कैसे जाएं? आप में से कोई भी बोले. What should we do to take it forward to the children? Because that is missing.
क्या नागफल से मैं बोल सकती हूँ? Just 2 minutes.
Please, Roly ji.
जैसे मैंने शुरुआत करी थी तो स्टोरी टेलिंग, मार्च, म्यूजिक, घर में आप बातचीत करते हैं, जब आप खाने के टेबल पे एक साथ बैठते हैं तो आप अपनी एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें। स्पेसिफिकली जो ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स होते हैं, एक जनरेशन और गैप होता है ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन के साथ उनका, तो उस वक्त में जो हुआ है कभी, वो उनके पोते पोतियों को तो नहीं पता होता है। सो वो शेयर करते हैं, उससे इंटरेस्ट बनता है। जब तक बच्चों में इंटरेस्ट, क्यूरियोसिटी, उनको लर्न करने की जिज्ञासा नहीं होगी, तब तक हम कुछ भी कर लें, हम उन्हें कुछ नहीं बता सकते और वो कुछ नहीं सीखेंगे। तो उनका इंटरेस्ट क्या है, उनके स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, उस चीज को आइडेंटिफाई करके उन मीडियम्स को यूज करें। एंड द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज इट हैज टू बी टू वे प्रोसेस। फर्स्ट घर पर होना चाहिए, साथ में एजुकेशन सिस्टम, उसमें भी ये होना बेहद जरूरी है। It used to happen in our culture earlier, but when Britishers came in, they actually broke this because they realized this is the strength, this is the backbone of our culture, and it has to be, digged out so that वो rule कर सके इंडिया पे।
Perfect. मैकॉले जब हमारे कंट्री में आए तो मैकॉले ने पूरा कंट्री का सर्वे किया और उन्होंने ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट में जाके ये कहा कि इंडिया को रूल नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि जब तक वो अपने कल्चर को नहीं छोड़ेंगे, अपनी आइडियोलॉजी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे, तब तक नहीं होगा। और इसीलिए उन्होंने अंग्रेजी स्पीकिंग, इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग एंड द वेस्टर्न मेथड वो लेकर आए। एनीवे, वेरी अमोल जी कुछ कहना चाह रहे थे। अमोल जी,
आई थिंक वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग्स दैट वी शुड डू इज, देखिए कोई भी चीज जब हम किसी पे फोर्स करते हैं या किसी को अगर ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस होता है कि लादा जा रहा है, तो पीपल ट्रेंड टू रिवोल्ट। तो हमें क्या करना है कि एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम में इसको फिट करना है, तो वो शायद ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक पहुंचे। तो गिविंग द सेम एग्जांपल दैट वी डिड विद म्यूजिक, कि हमने उसको एक सब्जेक्ट बना दिया, हमने उसको एक टाइम टेबल का हिस्सा बना दिया, हमने उसको एक्सपीरियंशियल बना दिया ताकि लोगों को उसका एक्सपीरियंस आए। तो बच्चों को आजकल क्या है, आजकल की जनरेशन को एक्सपीरियंशियल चीजें ज्यादा पसंद है। तो इन सब जो हमारे कल्चर की चीजें है ना, इसको, और मुझे पता भी है कोई चीज, शायद मैं आपको वन ऑन वन बताऊं कि किसी ने इसका एक वैल्यूज का एक तरह से सब्जेक्ट बना के इसका एक सिलेबस बना लिया है।
हेमा फाउंडेशन किया है सर।
अच्छा,
हेमा फाउंडेशन हैज डन इट इन कोलैबोरेशन विद एनसीईआरटी, एनसीएफ। हमने उनका पूरा करिकुलम पढ़ा, उनका कॉरिगंडम पढ़ा, हमने 2 साल रिसर्च किया और क्लास वाइज, सब्जेक्ट वाइज, चैप्टर वाइज हमने वैल्यूज का मैपिंग किया एंड वी हैव प्रेजेंटेड दिस डॉक्यूमेंट। मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है बताते हुए कि वी आर एसोसिएटेड विद गवर्नमेंट ऑफ राजस्थान इन फुल कैपेसिटी टू टेक वैल्यू एजुकेशन फॉरवर्ड एंड एनसीईआरटी।
So we should take this to all the schools and in the form of experiential assignments and things like that, that people can today show up। आजकल लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लगता है YouTube में वीडियो डालना, Facebook में लाइव करना, तो उनको ये चीजें दें कि आप हमारे वैल्यू पे हमने आज ये प्रोजेक्ट किया, जो हमने हाईलाइट किया, लोगों को बताया, ताकि those kind of things, it will make it spread।
नागपाल जी, कविता दीदी is here। I think हमें उन्हें लेना चाहिए क्योंकि already
I could see it. Madam Kavita, we were waiting for you and looking forward to have some insights from you on this.
apologize. I was just stuck up in the traffic and I couldn't answer. I think I have just answered Anuba's call and I said I will be reaching within 5 minutes. Once again, apologizing for the delay.
Stage is yours, Kavita ma'am. We are seeking your inputs on the subject. How can we connect our children to culture?
Culture is not only it can be inculcated from home, but I think even the teachers play an important role when it comes in inculcating the culture. The second home of a child is his school, where this culture can be inculcated. And culture influences learning and teaching. The cultural tendencies impact the way children participate in education. And to engage students effectively in the learning process, teachers should be aware about their students' academic abilities individually, rather than relying on racial or ethnic stereotypes or on prior experience with other students of similar background. So I believe that even culture influences learning and teaching process. We have different examples of culture. That is, it is in language. You have culture in rituals and ceremonies. It's in food. It's in architecture. So we find culture in different areas. What I can say is, I believe that students should be well trained about what the exact meaning of culture is. Bade log just bolte hai ki you have to follow the culture. When it comes any festival, Diwali ya Holi, so parents are expecting ki the culture should be followed. But have we ever tried to understand? Has the child understood the meaning of culture? Only culture word suna hua hai. You have to follow, elders ko dekha to you have to obey them. But why it has to be done? How it has to be done? I think this basic knowledge also has to be inculcated in a child's mind, why culture is important. Nowadays, when we start in school, we do celebrate Holi, we do celebrate Raksha Bandhan. And this is where the place where the child learns what exact culture meaning is. Of course, even in family, when there is the family get together, the child understands the culture, how to celebrate culture, how to celebrate festivals, what is the meaning of culture. So even in school, as Dr. Amol has said, that in schools also we have to inculcate this habit of culture through music, through programs, through celebrating festivals, where sharing and caring, the students will be aware about how to respect each and every culture, depending on the caste and creed the child belongs from. So a teacher plays a very important role in developing an interest in the culture. So I think culture plays a very important role even in school.
All the things connected. Very rightly said. Teachers, education, students, and the culture, everything is connected. And we definitely get that value. मैं आपको एक I'll share my experience. जैसा मैडम ने कहा कि all the schools are sharing certain programs, Holi, Rakhi, this all. मैंने अक्सर ये देखा है कि when it comes to celebrations of Holi, then the students take literally great joy in smearing each other with the colors. But जो उसका basic essence है होली का, वो हम नहीं बताते हैं. राखी का हम educational institute में we do not really tell this. रक्षाबंधन का हम नहीं बताते. हमारे यहाँ पे कितने व्रत त्योहार होते हैं जिसका we never tell them etymologically and हमारा पौराणिक जो legends है वो हम बताते नहीं हैं. और हम कहते हैं दिवाली celebrate करेंगे. The first thing that comes in mind of a child with the Diwali, because associative memory बहुत काम करता है, firing the crackers. क्या दिवाली इससे एसोसिएटेड है? नो, दिवाली इस पूरी मानव सभ्यता के सबसे बड़े रोमियो जूलियट भगवान राम का सीता को रावण से छुड़ा के लाके अयोध्या वापस पहुंचने का फेस्टिवल है. तो ये हमें, इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ अस educational institutes to literally give this information in the real sense so that students can carry it. अब मैं आपको I'll share one more experience of the school. उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने एक प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किया, का से कबूतर, and this entire program was based on the evolution of language. Now this will have phonology, this will have syntax, this will have structure, this will have sentence, this will have grammar, this will have biology, this will have voice, everything. So experiential education. If I can put up one more question, if I can request all you, we all.
Can I say something, नागपाल जी?
Please, stage is yours.
जी, जैसा कविता दीदी अभी बता रही थी कि हम कल्चर का मीनिंग नहीं समझा पाते हैं, तो मैं सबसे पहले तो हम बात करते जब संस्कृति की या मीनिंग की, तो संस्कृति को अगर हम विच्छेद करें, जैसा हम कोई भी शब्द का करते हैं, संस्कारों की आकृति, ये होती है संस्कृति। और संस्कृति को जैसा दीदी बता भी रही थी कि हम सोचते हैं कि बच्चों ने अगर मंत्र बोला, श्लोक बोला, या इसने अच्छे से ये फेस्टिवल सेलिब्रेट किया, जैसा हम कहते हैं, तो वो संस्कार है, लेकिन वो संस्कार का भाग है। पर संस्कार बनता कब है? जब हमारे आचार, विचार और व्यवहार, ये तीनों का एक सर्कल है, तब जाके संस्कार बनता है और उससे संस्कृति का उद्भव होता है, जो हम शायद ये बात को हम समझ नहीं पाते हैं। और सबसे पहले उसको हमें फॉलो करना पड़ता है। हम जब कहते हैं कि बच्चों को सिखाओ, तो ये कोई सिखाने वाली चीज नहीं है, बच्चा अपने आप सीखता है। जैसा सर ने भी कहा कि वो ऑब्जर्वर होते हैं, फॉलो करते हैं, वो जो देखते हैं वो सीखते हैं। तो हम जब अपनी संस्कृति को जब हम गर्व महसूस करेंगे, उस संस्कृति को जब हम फॉलो करेंगे, तो हमें अपने बच्चों को सिखाना नहीं पड़ेगा। दूसरी जो सबसे बड़ी बात आती है, जैसा नागपाल सर भी कह रहे थे कि हम इतना संस्कृति, विशालतम संस्कृति है हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति। हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति में अगर कहा जाए, हमारी जनरेशन की, हमारे पेरेंट्स और जो भी कहते थे हमारे बड़े लोग, तो उस चीज को हम मान लेते थे। अगर हमारे पेरेंट्स ने या दादा दादी ने कहा ये भगवान राम है, ये भगवान कृष्ण है, ये हनुमान जी है, तुम सर झुकाओ, हमने माना और सर झुका लिया। लेकिन अगर आज के बच्चे को हम कहेंगे तो वो सर नहीं झुकाएगा, वो पूछेगा कि मैं क्यों झुकाऊं। तो आज के बच्चे को आपको पूरी लॉजिक के साथ समझाना पड़ेगा। और हमारे तो लेकिन उसके पिता का विज्ञान है, जरूरत है पहले हमको जानने की और उसके बच्चों को समझाना। हम बच्चों हर पीछे का लॉजिक समझाएंगे, हर चीज के वैज्ञानिक तथ्य समझाएंगे, तो बच्चे बहुत आसानी से मानेंगे। क्योंकि मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि जब तक आज का बच्चा ऐसा है, जब तक वो जानेगा नहीं, वो मानेगा नहीं।
Absolutely, yes.
अनीता जी, एक चीज मैं इसमें ऐड कर दूं। आपने जो कहा ना, मानेगा नहीं, जानेगा नहीं, मानेगा नहीं, साथ में वो ये चाहता है कि अगर मैं कर रहा हूँ तो मैं आपको फॉलो कर रहा हूँ, तो आप करोगे तो मैं करूंगा, अगर आपके लिए सही है तो मेरे लिए सही है, तो वो करते हैं। तो आप एज अ मेंटर, एज अ टीचर, एज अ पेरेंट, आप फॉलो कीजिए, वो आपको फॉलो करेंगे।
वो बात मैंने वही बात शुरुआत में कही कि वो ऑब्जर्वर होते हैं। हमारी संस्कृति को जब हम अपने अंदर जिएंगे ना, तो बच्चा अपने आप देख के अपने आप जिएगा, उसे सिखाना नहीं पड़ेगा। हमें अपनी संस्कृति के बारे में सिखाया नहीं गया था, क्योंकि हमारे बड़े उसको जीते थे, अपनी लाइफ में जीते थे, हम अपने आप सीख गए, और वही हमें आज करना है।
Absolutely.
हम अपनी संस्कृति पे गर्व करेंगे तो बच्चा अपने आप गर्व करेगा, उसे जानने की कोशिश करेगा, वो भारतीय संस्कृति को समझने की कोशिश करेगा, नहीं तो बिल्कुल नहीं करेगा।
दो बातें हैं, अनीता जी ने बिल्कुल सही कहा। जब तक उसको समझाएंगे नहीं, जब तक वो समझेगा नहीं, मानेगा नहीं, बिल्कुल सही बात है। मैं एक छोटी सी बात आप सबसे शेयर करता हूँ। हम इसकी शुरुआत कैसे करें? जैसे हम हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ते हैं, हम कोई भी मंत्र पढ़ते हैं, क्या हमें उसका मतलब मालूम है? हमारी संस्कृति के दो एस्पेक्ट हैं, हमारी पौराणिक कथाओं के, एक रिचुअलिस्टिक एस्पेक्ट है, एक स्पिरिचुअलिस्टिक एस्पेक्ट है। रिचुअलिस्टिक एस्पेक्ट हमें मंत्र पूजा आदि को कहता है, लेकिन ये हमें समझ में नहीं आता है। जब समझ में नहीं आता तो हम फॉलो क्यों करेंगे? जो स्पिरिचुअलिस्टिक एस्पेक्ट है वो हमें समझाता है कि जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहुँ लोक उजागर का शब्द का अर्थ क्या है, तब मानेगा ना, रियलाइजेशन होगा तभी तो मानेगा। एक स्कूल ने कार्यक्रम किया काव्य खोज, वो क्या करते थे, वो इसी तरह से हमारे 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 संस्कृति में प्रचलित इन्हीं काव्यों को अर्थ सहित स्पष्ट करते थे कि इसका मतलब ये है। यू फॉलो, इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड देन फॉलो। सो दिस इज सच ए वंडरफुल मंथन आज हुआ है और बहुत अच्छे अच्छे पॉइंट्स निकल कर आए हैं। आई एम रियली हैप्पी, आई एम रियली हैप्पी।
I want to share something, Dr. Nagpal, if so, as Kavita ma'am has mentioned that school plays such an important role in imbibing culture into us. जब मैंने मेरी स्कूलिंग कॉन्वेंट से की है, एंड टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक, जब मैं निकली और जब मेरी बेटी हुई तो आई वॉज वेरी क्लियर दैट आई डोंट वांट टू पुट हर इन कॉन्वेंट, you know, because
it's a very big statement. It's a very big statement.
Yes, I was very clear. I know it's a very strong statement and I'm sorry for making it on this platform, but I was very clear for the many things that I have missed in my childhood. Of course, घर का माहौल मेरा बहुत ही मतलब ट्रेडिशनल था, तो बहुत सारे हम लोग हर फेस्टिवल करते थे, और बीइंग अ महेश्वरी every month there is a festival, तो वैसे वो सब था। लेकिन जो स्कूल का there was a point when, you know, I was doubting my own culture and religion, to be very frank. And only after I got out of college, and मेरा graduation भी convent से हुआ है, because we look, parents of course look for best education, and वो time पे सब कुछ best वैसे ही provided था। तो मेरा graduation भी convent से हुआ है, मेरा जो 11th 12th हुआ था वो भी convent से हुआ, but when I went to post graduation and I got into a diverse cultural university, then actually I, you know, got a perspective ki we are so rich in so many things, because my thought process was very limited that way. So I was very clear, no, no matter how best a school I find, but yeah. For my daughter,
we live this session to the discretion of every individual who is listening.
Just one point I would like to add, sir.
Yes, Amol.
Sorry for that.
Where we say that, you know, if we want to really be effective, as much as we say that we need to take culture to our younger people or children, we need to take it to parents too.
Absolutely.
I don't know how we'll do it, but the very reason why Neha ma'am just said, you know, there are people of my generation, I know parents today who themselves don't know these things, and it is really difficult for them to expect to be, you know, doing this. So there will have to be also some mechanism where we start, you know, getting these people involved into this, and that's how we'll probably succeed, you know, in a better way.
अमोल सर, आपकी बात का तो एक छोटा सा जवाब देते हैं कि हेमा फाउंडेशन ने क्योंकि इन वैल्यूज पे काम किया है, तो ऑब्वियसली संस्कृति विषय बहुत विशाल है। हमने इस पे एक मूवी बनाई है, संस्कृति ही नाम है उसका, और आप लोगों को जरूर देखना चाहिए। उस संस्कृति में हमने यही बताने की कोशिश की है कि हमारी जितनी भी सांस्कृतिक चीजें, चाहे हम टीका लगाते हैं, हम जो भी करते हैं, हर चीज के पीछे वैज्ञानिक तथ्य छुपे हुए हैं। भोपाल गैस कांड हुआ था, मुझे लगता है बहुत सारे लोगों को ध्यान भी होगा और पढ़ा होगा। भोपाल गैस कांड में ऐसा कोई भी परिवार नहीं था जो उससे इफेक्टेड नहीं हुआ। सिर्फ 2 परिवार पूरे भोपाल में ऐसे थे जो उस गैस कांड की जो त्रासदी थी उससे बचे थे। उसका कारण ये था कि वो हवन करते थे। हमारे यहाँ हवन को भी रिचुअल की तरह मानते हैं, लेकिन जो गाय का घी और गोबर के कंडे से जो वो रोज हवन किया करते थे, उससे वो वातावरण इतना शुद्ध हो गया कि उनको इस गैस का कोई असर नहीं हुआ। आज हमारे यहाँ गंगा का पानी क्यों पवित्र है? इतना उसमें हम राख विसर्जित करते हैं, जो डेथ हो जाती है उसके बाद में सब राख विसर्जित, अस्थि विसर्जन के लिए वहां जाते हैं, पर क्योंकि हमें जानकारी नहीं है तो हम बता नहीं पाते हैं। तो आप लोग प्लीज ये मूवी जरूर से देखिएगा, इस मूवी को स्प्रेड कीजिएगा। एचएफ ने ऐसे ही हर वैल्यू के पीछे बहुत काम किया है, और हमने कोशिश की है कि मूवीज बनाए हैं, और 4 लैंग्वेजेस में है, हिंदी, इंग्लिश, मराठी एंड तेलुगु। तो आप देखिए, स्प्रेड कीजिए, बताइए, बच्चों को बताइए, और इनफैक्ट पेरेंट्स भी देखिए ताकि वो अवेयर हो, उन्हें भी पता लगे कि हमारी संस्कृति कितनी विशाल है। धन्यवाद।
Absolutely yes. Absolutely
मुझे भी
yes.
ऐसा लगता है
Very
कि
well done.
पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स दोनों का अगर प्रॉपर तरीके से ओरिएंटेशन, क्योंकि वो पर्सपेक्टिव की बात है, तो वो अगर बराबर से हो जाएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली थिंग्स विल बी अलाइंड प्रॉपरली, राइटली सेड मैम।
यस,
कविता जी आपका, यू आर एट म्यूट एक्चुअली।
कविता दीदी अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ।
एक बार फिर से ट्राई कीजिए।
Yes. I feel in each schools, sare festivals should be celebrated so that the child is aware what is the importance of each and every festival, whether it is Eid or whether it is like, you know, Holi. Sub festivals, if we celebrate, the child will get like, you know, involved in this culture, and he will understand why the culture, even if from different religion, it is important to celebrate. So each and every school, no matter, like, you know, convent school, I agree, Miss Neha, that certain only they celebrate only certain festivals. They do not give importance to all the festivals where there is some lacking, like, you know, the child is not able to understand all cultures. What as ma'am said, इंडियन संस्कृति जो है, तो हमारे बच्चों को वो सब कुछ साइंटिफिक रीजन के साथ वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन, एंड एज अ वैल्यू एजुकेशन सब्जेक्ट वी कैन inculcate, like, you know, we can introduce this subject as a culture and make them understand why culture is very important for them.
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And I mean, like, out of many other webinars which have been conducted earlier on Hem Manthan, and I'm trying to like it as a very good webinar. एक छोटा सा रिक्वेस्ट आपसे और है, recently we have launched academic revolutionary web portal Hem Virtues. This Hem Virtue is having from class 1st to 10th standard all academic subject integrated with the values. और वहां पर सारी एक्टिविटीज हम लोगों ने इस पे रिप्रेजेंट करी है. It will even help schools in their internal assessment, the project work which you are giving to the students.
Okay.
So, and there were lots of messages which I am receiving. Everybody is appreciating it. To all the audience who's listening here, and to all the panelists who have contributed with the real depth and the depth of their values, wisdoms and everything. Hema Foundation is really, really delighted to have you here. और हम ये मान सकते हैं कि जो भी हमारी कल्चरल वैल्यूज अभी हैं उसमें कुछ ना कुछ इजाफा, फायदा, एडिशन जरूर होगा. हम आपसे विदा लेंगे. इसके बाद में हम वंदे मातरम के बाद में आप लोगों से विदा लेंगे. आप सबका बहुत 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 आभार. हम चीनू जी को मिस कर रहे हैं, हम डॉक्टर विजयम को भी मिस कर रहे हैं. वो यहाँ होते तो हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता. आप सभी का बहुत बहुत आभार. धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much.
नागपाल जी, नेक्स्ट वीक का ये भी बता दीजिए.
ओके, ये हमारा अगला वेबिनार है रेजिंग हैप्पी चिल्ड्रंस, और मॉडरेट करने को मुझे कहा गया है. मैं एक बार पुनः आप लोगों के साथ में हाजिर होऊंगा इस टॉपिक को लेकर. रेजिंग हैप्पी चिल्ड्रंस बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है. मुझे पढ़ना भी पड़ेगा, मुझे अपने इतिहास में भी झांक के देखना पड़ेगा. आप सब लोगों से सीखने के लिए तैयार हूं. और मैडम तृप्ति सखुजा will be there to enlighten us, and as usual all of the panelists. मैं request करूंगा, please do connect with this. Please do connect with this. Thank you so much. नमस्कार आप सभी का. प्लीज जरूर जुड़िएगा on the coming day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.